Let's fight, guys. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. Almost missed my cue there. Happy to have you all on the live tonight, wherever you are joining us from. We invite you guys to share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. Yolanda Thomas, Dolly Anderson, Isabella Butters. I'm here, Isabella. You asked the question, Isabella, and all the other folks joining us. Share the live tonight, smash that emoji button. We're so happy that you folks are here with us. That bell is for you guys. We apologize. We were trying to get the audio a little better than it was this morning. Folks trying to get the video as well a little better than it was, and still trying to pull content together after being out for a little bit today. But good to have you folks on the live tonight. I see Denny's Beard is here. How are you folks? Some of you are such political junkies. You can't do one night without the show. Not one night. It's like a bottle. We gotta keep to you all the political fuel. Good folks, we're happy to be here with you guys as well. David Holder, Letel Pratt, Ariel, and all the other folks joining us tonight, folks. We're happy to have you here. Choking up a little bit. Happy to have you here. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Again, wherever you're joining us from, just good to have you guys here. And we're moving forward. Who Vex? Again, great to have each and every one of you join us this evening. Share the live. You know how we do it. Smash that emoji button as well. We come and we confuse the people, whole house, the kitchen, and everything else. And again, folks, we are just happy and delighted that so many of you are joining us from the many places that you guys are joining us from tonight. Heaven Faith, all the other guys who are joining us, I see you there. Junior Gibbs and Marcella Hope, Joy Van Kooten, and the technical staff who are here with us, sharing out pizza and so on. We give you a shout out too. Have to keep us fed. But good night to you guys, especially Junior Gibbs and Eva Mattis, all the other folks who are joining us. Guys, we're simply happy that you folks are here with us. Good to see each and every one of you. We're going to give you guys a second or two to share the live. Smash that emoji button as well. We're not running on water. We want to do the program a different way tonight. We had to scale back on some of what we're doing, just so that we can be on, because we all 9:30. We can still be fighting on the outside here. But guys, again, really good to have all of you folks with us from the various places that you guys are joining us from. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you folks. Welcome. We trust that you all are great. I see Ingrid Ambrose is here, and Lynette Cox, and all the other guys who are joining us. We're so happy that you folks are here with us. So glad that you folks are here with us. Share that live, folks. We're still trying to get through to some of our other pages, some of the other places too. And as soon as we're able to do that, guys, that can make us the happiest souls in the world. But good to have all of you guys here with us nonetheless. Great to have each and every one of you here with us, guys. Peace and power. You all know how we do it. You all know how we say it. Again, so delighted to have you folks here with us. And the system trying with us, but I know if we can have it tonight. I don't know if we're having it tonight, folks. The system trying with us. Trying with we. Share the live, good folks. Smash that emoji button, folks, for us. We got ways to go. We got ways to go tonight. All right. We've got some ways to go. And forgive us if we're not on all the pages. We're trying to get through to some of them. And it's not allowing us to do so. But hopefully, folks, that comes through very, very soon. We got a couple of things we're following tonight, guys. We got a couple of things on the fight card we are following tonight. We saw a commission, finally, a particular commission, guys, finally sworn in. And do let us know if you're hearing us loud and clear. Finally, we saw this commission sworn in. We can talk about some bold bandits we got, folks. Bold bandits, some mishap that's happening outside, among some other things that we'll be following in the region. Had a significant resignation today, guys, in Trinidad. A significant resignation of a political operative, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that as well. But as we begin tonight, folks, if you all know anything about our broadcast, we start with the opener, something to get you going, and we turn our attention, folks, to the National Assembly and some of what we have been following there, guys, in the National Assembly. And it's there's no easy day, folks. No easy day on that side. Just last evening, as a matter of fact, the guys went to Parliament yesterday around 10 in the morning and never left until about 6 this morning. Never left till about 6. And some of what went down there, we were in the constant throes of blackouts. We're in the constant throes of blackouts. And we heard a series of questions asked by Member of Parliament David Patterson, who shadows that sector. And also we saw Vincent Henry, Member of Parliament Vincent Henry, I think also asked a particular question pertaining to all this money they're appropriating for fuel and generators and all of that. And by the same token, you would expect perhaps the electricity cost to come down, or more electricity generation, but it's the more money they take for the sector, folks. It's the more and more and more and more we see, the more and more and more we see that there is it's just not happening, right? The more money they take, it's the more the cost of electricity going up, more blackouts in some instances. And David Patterson on his feet yesterday, along with Vincent Henry, probed the minister on this very question of the electricity and fuel and all of that, all of those things that are happening. And so we turn your attention, folks, to some of that. Take a look and take a listen.
In line with the answer, there is no provision in here for, and I note how similar subventions and support are given to Madia, Mabaruma, Kokwani, Port Kaituma. Can the honorable minister explain, if fuels increases it for Linden and Lethem, how come there is no provisions here for none of the other agencies?
Honorable Senior Minister.
Sir, there's no mystery. There's no mystery about that. Sir, a budget comprises the best estimates of expenditure required for every single entity. At this point in time, sir, we have not received, the Ministry of Finance is not in receive of, in the first instance, a request from those companies. And we are not in possession of any information to indicate that they'll require additional resources. Were we to receive a request from those companies with the appropriate justification, we'll bring it to this House.
Thank you,
we have brought to this, we have received, sir, a request for supplementary appropriation from Linden and from Lethem, which we have reviewed and found to be of merit, and we've brought those requests to this House. Simple. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Mr. Patterson, then we have the Honorable Member Mr. Henry, and then we have the Honorable Member Ms. Lawrence.
Right, sir. I'm coming back to Lethem. Sir, the Honorable Minister within the Ministry of Public Works, sir, no, giving us right. Opened the Lethem power, the Lethem solar farm, 1.5 megawatts, and waxed lyrically that it will reduce the cost by almost 50% for electricity in Lethem. Can the Honorable Minister responding explain to the House if the solar farm which they installed is operational, and why hasn't it reduced the operation costs, and let them by the percentage projected by the Minister, the Honorable Minister of Public Works?
Honorable Senior Minister in the Office of the President.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, Honorable Minister.
Yes, I defer to the Minister of Finance, who has asked me to respond to this question.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. To the Honorable Member, thank you very much for that question. But I remember when this facility at Lethem was established and commissioned, and to provide supplemental power to the Lethem power plant. Solar power is intermittent power, Mr. Speaker. It doesn't run on 24 hours. So it's intermittent power fed into the generation capacity at Letem. It is designed to reduce fuel costs. So I'm answering, sir. You had your chance. You gonna allow me to answer? So, Mr. Speaker, you have intermittent power, means only some parts of the day you have sunlight. So when you have sunlight, that power is pushed into the power plant and reduce the fuel cost of the operating cost of the power plant. Hinterland Electrification Company Incorporated, HECI, is run by a CEO and staff, did the analysis of the Letem power company and found that they need extra money to run the plant, mostly because of fuel. Although there's power to offset some of the costs in fuel, there still is an increase in the amount that is used by the generating sets. The sets there are not all new sets. You have old sets there, you have new sets, but it's not all new operating at the highest efficiency, Mr. Speaker. So it burns fuel. Then you have more demand showing up in Letem. More people are using power, Mr. Speaker. So you all asked for the answer, giving you all the answer, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the question came from the Honorable Minister Patterson, Member Patterson, and it's a good question, and I'm providing the answer, but like it's sorting them with the answers too. So the answer is clear that there is demand increase in generation at the Letem power plant. The power that is generated by the solar plant is intermittent power. It's not what you call firm power. Firm power is when you have generating capacity. Intermittent power is the solar energy assisting with power generation into the grid using a substation there. And the same thing goes for the Letem Power Company. I mean, the Honorable Member, Minister Singh answered. But the Letem Power Company is the same thing. Fuel cost is the main driver of operating costs for all of these power plants. And the same thing happened for Letem, for Linden too. So it is mainly because of fuel costs. Now, when you sit at the end of the year and create a budget to bring to this House, Mr. Speaker, you work on variables that are known at that time. Nobody in this world have a model to calculate fuel price, how it moves up and down. No one. There are millions of models that try to calculate where fuel price will go and where it will not go. Nobody have a crystal ball to say what fuel will be 6 months out. So that is the issue. If you know at the time of preparing the budget what fuel prices will be and fuel price change during the period, it affects you locally. And that is the issue here. So I hope that the added commentary to the question of the Honorable Member, which I believe is a good question, is a sensible one. And it doesn't have emotions in it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Minister. Honorable Member, Mr. Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to say that a promise was made that we would be paying less for electricity in Letem, and that didn't happen. One. Two, is it in terms of the staffing at Letem, is it true that the chairman of the board of management is an absentee chairman? And if so, is he being paid? Because this could be one of the reasons why the cost of electricity cannot go down.
Honorable Member, Senior Minister.
Mr. Chairman, first of all, let me say very clearly that this People's Progressive Party civic government delivers on all of our promises. Let me be crystal clear about that. Secondly, sir, I am not in possession of any information in relation to an absentee chairman or any such thing. And so I suspect that's more rhetorical politicking more than anything else.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The question to the Honorable Minister. Will these sums, the ones in the budget, as well as the sums being requested now, result in a reduction in the rate of electricity in Letem in particular? And if not, sir, can the Honorable Minister tell the citizens of Letem when they will see the reductions, sir?
Honorable Senior Minister.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me say that the purpose of these supplementary appropriations that are being sought is to continue to ensure that electricity is delivered in Lethem and Linden and has no direct relationship with the reduction of rates. Having said that, sir, it's well known that this government is investing very aggressively in improving electricity production, electricity generation, transmission and distribution, and delivery to final consumers, including, not least, with the investment in the rehabilitation of the Maka Maka hydropower plant. That project is already underway and will see ultimately a significant improvement, increase in the supply of electricity to Lethem, improvement in the quality of that electricity, and ultimately, we hope, a reduction in the cost of electricity. I might add, sir, that that is reflective of our efforts in many other communities. It's well known that we are installing solar capability in Linden, solar farms in Linden under the LCDS-related Guyana Solar Farms project. We are installing solar capability in Sequibo, in Berbice, and of course we're working on the gas to energy project, which is going to be the subject of discussions in due course. So that work, the task of increasing electricity supply, improving the quality of that electricity and reducing the cost of electricity, is a task that this government has applied itself to across the entire of Guyana, including, of course, both regions 9 and 10 that are the subject of the current item. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senior Minister.
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
could the Honorable Minister tell us what was the price of oil in January? Wait a minute, we'll get it. In January 2023, and the price of oil now.
Honorable Senior Minister.
Sir, world market fuel prices are readily available in the public domain. And I have absolutely no intention, sir, of doing a simple internet search on behalf of the honorable leader of the opposition. And I will reiterate, sir, I will reiterate that this is not only a question of world market fuel prices, that is one variable, but the fuel bill of these companies comprises the unit price of fuel, the volume of fuel that is called, the CIF to deliver, the insurance and freight to bring the fuel to Guyana, the transport and delivery to Linden and Lethem, and the efficiency with which those companies operate and use that fuel to generate the electricity that they generate, and the volume of demand. So the fuel bill of those companies is influenced by a number of variables, including but not exclusively the world market price for fuel. If the honorable leader of the opposition is interested in determining the world market price for fuel, I might urge him, sir, to do a simple Google search, and there are an abundance of sources on the internet that will tell him what the world market price for fuel is.
apologies there, folks. We were so happy. We're talking about what's going on internationally. Apologies there. This mother and daughter out of Antigua that was part of Virgin Atlantic, very first tourist in space. And I was saying, I don't know if some of you, Glenford and Drelsma, you got these fancy names, Patricia and others. You all got a little 250,000 US, a little 260 to 70 lying around. And you guys can be next, the tourists that go up into space. Yolanda, apologies there, and husband and all the other folks. And previous to that, I was telling you that Joe Biden, the president of the United States of America, today said that this huge fire there in Hawaii is now a major disaster, and they're doing all that they can to kind of minimize the loss of life. 36 dead, that's the last figure we have had, and the government here of America offering more and more help to the state of Hawaii to mitigate the loss of life. Billions in damages thus far, billions. So the fires of the PPP has found their way, Evelina Whitaker, across the Atlantic. Who vex? And then, of course, the Virgin Atlantic group taking the first tourist into space. Folks, we thought we'd share this with you. A recent study that was done is telling us that 4,000 steps, you know, some of you got your smartwatches and so on, 4,000 steps per day can reduce an early death, believe it or not. So when people tell you that you like walk, you got to tell them you're saving your life. You know, you're walking into good health, walking away from death. 4,000 steps per day. I think they tell us that about 10,000 steps is recommended for a healthy day on your feet. 4,000 reduces an early death, believe it or not. Rosita, so we can see you guys picking up on your walks, you know. Some of you like to take up your walks all over the day. Roxy and Glenford and Chinsing Henry, right? You got to step it up a little bit. Stepping into health, folks. 4,000 steps at a time. That's some what we're following. Regionally, folks, they're telling us that there is a new leader of the opposition. I think this is in, let me make sure we have the country correct, because I want to give you guys valid and credible information. In that instance, I lost my thought on it. But a new leader of the opposition, I'm tempted to say Bellies, but I know it's not Bellies. But that's what's coming to mind. I'm trying to find my way in my notes. A new leader of the opposition, and it's not in Guyana either, because I know some of you are as facetious as that. This is a Geron Richardson, and this is Bermuda. The beautiful island of Bermuda, Geron Richardson, and he took the oath of office after the Cole Simmons, who was the former leader of the opposition, announced his retirement after over 25 years in Parliament and dedicated to public service. And he resigned and retired early on in this week. And Geron Richardson took over. Met some beautiful folks from Bermuda recently in Turks and Caicos Island. Yep. And so Geron Richardson takes over there. Good job. Good luck to him. Good luck to him. Geron Richardson, new leader of the opposition, there in Bermuda. And this young lady here used to be the former Minister of Health under the People's National Movement in Trinidad and Tobago. She used to be the former Minister of Health, and she has just resigned from the UNC, causing shockwaves in that political system there in Trinidad and Tobago. And folks, this is Karen Nunes Teixeira. Karen Nunes Teixeira, who has resigned from the People's National Movement there in Trinidad. I'd love to hear some of my Trinidadian brothers and sisters on this issue. People don't run from good. That's what the old people say. Is it true? Is it true? We want to know. People don't run from good. June Mona says, according to her smartwatch, she made 5,221 steps today. Well, June, you know, we understand you can live a little longer than some other folks. You understand me? You live a little longer than some other folks. And guys, circling back, Trinidad. This is Karen Nunes. Leaves the PNM today. Immediate resignation. They told us that she ran against Prime Minister Keith Rowley in, I think, 2022 internal party elections for leader. Of course, the rest is history. And now she has she's left the party. Whether she leaves politics is something else. Karen Nunes to share, and that's what's happening, folks. In Trinidad, I think we got one other issue. Well, we had the 592 now. Folks, you all remember these two young men that lost their lives. We spoke about this, I think, last evening on our broadcast in that fire. Well, one of the recent fires we have had. Well, the folks are telling us that part of what was responsible, but not necessarily for their deaths, but the fact that they were left unattended. The mother, they're telling us, the mother went to the shop to buy fruits, right? And this is the fire that occurred at Moblissa on the Linden Sioux Dyke Highway, Moblissa, which claimed the lives of 3-year-old Debron, is it Scalelli, and the Mario, is it Scalelli? I think it's Scalelli is the surname. These two young people, 3 and 6 years old. Can you believe that? He said the big headline out of Starbuck News: the mother had gone in search of fruit, and the 6-year-old and 3-year-old lost their lives. Yep. That's the state we're in, by them boys taking billions out of the treasury to do what? You would think it's nice time for everybody. The parents, the mother went for fruits, and the young men lost their lives in a tragic fire there at Moblissa, folks. That's one of the things happening in the 592. As we're coming on this evening, this is one of the things that detained us. They were telling us that a gunman opened fire there in Sophia on a crowd. Folks, it's the wild, wild west. The wild, wild west. Gunman opens fire on crowd in Sophia. Right? It's a couple of days left here. It's not a long time. Couple of days left, y'all, and the story ready. And while we're following that in Sophia, they said a number of persons, I think 4 persons were hit. 4 persons were hit. Wild, wild west. What say you, Vanessa Brewster? P. Cock, Abby Lamazon, Naomi Drucker. What say you? Naomi is throwing shade, right? And throwing heavy, heavy shade. Heavy, heavy shade at the commissioner of police. Naomi says she thought crime gone down. She thought crime gone down. And folks, hold on for a second. While that was happening in Sophia, tonight, I think we picked this up, we snapped this up from Gordon Mosley, News Source, another good place for valid, credible information. News Source had this one. News Source had this one, right? What did they have? What did they have? A property dispute. They're telling us. I think it is in All Boys Town. Is it? Let me circle back and get the name of the place correctly. A property dispute in West Front Road. Right? Led to 1 person being shot dead. Property dispute. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Enid Miggins, Maylene Asquith, and all the other folks. Do you think it is worth it? Property. Right? Property. People fighting over property. Is it worth it? And now, someone is dead as a result of that. That's one of the things we're following. Look at us, we're tracking, folks. People desperate, Desperate times, they say. Desperate measures. Desperate times. Desperate measures. This is one of the issues we're following. A fellow run out and rob a salesman just like that. Right? Them boys don't want to work. Them boys don't want to work. Right? And what are we pointing out here is how you got crime upon crime upon crime. Unrelenting. Right? Unrelenting. The fellow who robbed the salesman, they call him Lucky. They call him Lucky. His name is Patrick Goodluck. Patrick Goodluck. And he has pleaded not guilty to the charge of robbery under arms. He's purported to have robbed Dinesh Rabindranath, a driver salesman, of $130,000 in cash and a Samsung cell phone, right, valued at $40,000. This is at North Sophia. Lucky. But let's see what happens now, folks. On every front, the boys moving with impunity. I can tell you all, with impunity. Look what else we're following. So it's the robbery, it's the fires, carnage on our roadways as well. Right? Carnage on our roadways as well. They tell us Recently, there was a smash up. That's all that's happening. Smash up, smash up. 2 persons lost their lives in the last 24 hours. This is along the East Bank and East Coast. A motorcyclist lost his life last evening at Nabakalis. Right? This is Akim Govaya, lost his life at Nabakalis. Right? And he is from Victoria. And then they're telling us there was another accident right, last evening as well, yesterday as well. This is at Mocha Diamond, Carnage on our roadways, Nabakalis Mocha, Carnage on our roadways, folks, and we'll restate and reiterate yet again. Slow down, I beg of you, and let me arrive alive. Share the live, folks. Smash that emoji button, and let's do what we got to do. Down the road we go. Down the road we go. So we're following this, Mocha, and also at Diamond, right? Mocha and at, let me don't give you wrong information. This is story now. All manner of things happening. 2 dead. Let us use the roadways with more caution. Right? Let this be the caution to us to slow down and arrive alive. Is it worth it? Not all the time. Not all the time. So we have Mocha Arcadia. This happened along the Mocha to Diamond Road. This first accident, and then the other at Nabakalis. Just wanted to clarify that. Yep. So there's that on that front, folks. Could you imagine you left to go one place? You got to go another place, and then you're going to fall up. He's telling now. And drown. We're following this one as well. You know, young lady was on her way from point A to point B. We're talking here about Robini Sohoy. Robini Sohoy, 36 years old, drowned after falling off the Legwan Stelling in Region 3. In Region 3. Right? I could hear some of y'all saying, like this country cross, man, we got to pray for us. We got to pray for us, folks. It's not easy. Never seek to know for whom the bell tolls. We got to pray for us. Paulette Greaves and Marcia and Astrid Schultz. We got to pray for us. It's not easy at all. So that's another issue we're following this evening, folks. And then you got this one here. You know, finally, you know, a lot of things happening. Your people still giving me aid, all of these billions. This government coming from their shame. We had International Indigenous Day. I think it was it yesterday, folks? Brenda Braffett, Edward Brooms, and Hazel Chase, Akila Ash. Was it yesterday? International Indigenous Day. And we saw this body, you know, bestow some gifts on our Amerindian brothers and sisters. Right? Gifts. Of course, this is the United Nations High Commission for Refugees. United Nations High Commission for Refugees. They made a donation to migrant students and schools in the hinterland region. Right? Clearly, they must have a sense that we're not doing enough. And so the United Nations High Commission on Refugees, they've stepped in now to help the migrant students and schools in the hinterland region. You know, kudos to them. Kudos to them. Clearly, we got some problems at home, guys, that we're not addressing at our end. Clearly, we got some problems on that front. And guys, while that's happening, I want to turn your attention to this. So y'all, boy Don run out saying that City Hall broke. Why do you think City Hall broke, Don? Don and Co. Why do you think City Hall broke? You know, this administration, they were good interlocutors, honest interlocutors. You know, they pay up the taxes the government owes to City Hall, which could offset lots of its day-to-day capital and current expenditure. Could help offset some of that. Billions is owed by the state. You know, government could also encourage the private sector. Pay up your taxes. You know, we got some good members of the private sector. It's not everybody. You know, some people deal diligently like that. They pay the taxes. They walk the straight and narrow path. But some others, not so much. So we were quite surprised when we saw Don, a new council at City Hall. He ran out, City Hall broke, they ain't doing nothing there. No development happening. Right? But what else do we expect? Don't get the brown bag. Got the brown bag already. So that's some of what we're following at City Hall. City Hall broke. The government is in a unique position to help. The administration and regime in a unique position to help. You see, them boys say that gold decorations down. They're blaming the weather. They're blaming spirits chasing people out of the back dam. Everything else. But we know it's not a small man. He's making the gold declarations, you know. It's some of the big ones that the U.S. got eyes on. Donna Joseph, Naomi, some of the big ones that the U.S. got eyes on. It's them not declaring the true measures of gold. And says lots of blame being put at the small miners. Water coming, rainfall too heavy, all manner of things the government blaming. You all know the best gold declaration happened under the last administration. The truth is the truth, and it hurts sometimes. The best gold declaration happened under the last administration, folks. That again is part of what we're following on that front, good folks. Finally, like how Irfan got around, you see, how Irfan got around to swearing in the mayors and deputy mayors. Finally, he got around to bringing in the other members of the Mahdia COI. Finally, folks, finally. He took some time. He announced Joe 6 weeks ago. Finally got around. Months after that horrific fire claimed the lives of 20 of our young people from the interior. 20 of our beautiful indigenous brother and sisters. 20 of them. Today, we saw the swearing of some of the members of that commission. And you know, I think it was Ganesh Mahipal who took a motion to the National Assembly, you know, pushing for this, among other things. Speaker said the motion is urgent. The speaker said the motion was not urgent. Right? And I want you guys to take a look at that and take a listen. That's what the fella said. It is not urgent. Right? So take a look, folks, and take a listen. I'm telling you what the fella said. He said the motion was not urgent. And this concerns the same Mahdia issue. I hope you have the right one queued. Concerning the very same Mahdia issue. It's not of public interest. It's not of something, you know, the usual phrase that he says. You think it was the only issue? You think it was the only issue? You think so? You better think again. Take a look and take a listen.
I'll move on. Question number 3, percentage of population enumerated.
All right, I think that is the wrong one that we have. Apologies there. I think that is the wrong one we have. And let's circle back and check out this one. Right? Take a look, folks, and take a listen. The issue of this motion on Mahdia.
Members, I did receive from the Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal, a request to move a motion under this heading. I have carefully considered the motion and again applying the standing orders have ruled. The issue here again is urgency and importance, and the urgency factor. This is an ongoing issue. But I'll give the Honorable Member, Mr. Mahipal, a minute to say what this urgent request was.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the request is asked of you, taking note that in the public domain, the government indicated that they will be swearing in the commissioners for the Commission of Inquiry surrounding the Mahdia dormitory fire. And the request is simply seeking to suggest or for this National Assembly to agree on the terms of reference to submit it to the government, to the executive arm of government, for consideration in the Commission of Inquiry. So the request, sir, is, in my view, considered, and the view of APNU, considered urgent on the basis that our National Assembly will not be sitting for the next 2 months because we're going into recess. And given that the government has indicated that they will go ahead and swear in the commissioners and begin the Commission of Inquiry, I believe the National Assembly should be given an opportunity to agree with all stakeholders, opposition and government, to propose the terms of reference for this Commission of Inquiry in the interest of all inclusiveness and inclusivity of the entire representative of the nation. Thank you, sir.
Honorable members, the issue here is urgency. That tragic incident happened over 2.5 months ago, and it was signaled that a commission of inquiry would have been established to look at the particular tragedy. 2.5 months would have been sufficient time for any member of this National Assembly to bring a formal motion to the House, have it tabled, and to be discussed. Questions and motions come in with much frequency in the House and to the Speaker. So unfortunately, at this time, the urgency element once again is not met, and I would not be able to entertain.
Yeah, you see story there, folks? Yeah. Every motion, I tell you, that the opposition brings, is never urgent, right? We had the flood a year ago, 2 years ago. It was April of 2021, huge flood, historic flood in Guyana. Same thing. It's not urgent. Day after, Irfan declared the flood a national disaster, national emergency. Like Biden and the fires there in Hawaii. National disaster. But in Parliament, it's not urgent. Right? Every motion, folks, that comes out of the National Assembly, again, I tell you, that is what we hear. Right? It's an urgent. It is not urgent. Right? Every motion out of the opposition. That is the one refrain that we see. Right? And the truth hurts for some of you, Right? The truth hurts for some of you. Listen to Annette Ferguson, on another motion. I listen to the Speaker. Listen to Comrade Ferguson on another motion, guys. And listen to the Speaker of the National Assembly. Right? Take a look and take a listen.
I'll move on. Question number 3, percentage of population enumerated. And this question is to the Honorable Dr. Ashley Singh. The Guyana National Population and Housing Census 2022 was launched on August 22nd, 2022. And the National Assembly approved the sum of $2 billion via supplementary paper on August 8, 2022. Mr. Speaker, this particular question has been overtaken by time because it gives a period for the information to be provided. But in the absence of the Parliament not meeting on a regular basis, I will proceed to perhaps ask the question, and with your leave, sir, to have the period extended as at 31st of July 2023. With your leave.
Unfortunately, Honorable Member, I can't give you leave because it's unfair for the Honorable Minister to prepare for that particular question. But I want to also ask you to be careful with respect to the words you use when you said Parliament not meeting regularly. Now, regularity could be once a year, once a month, once every 2 weeks. So I don't know what regular is, and apparently some people seem to have their own definitions for different characteristics of our house. So Honorable Member Mr. Patterson, you're shouting at me? That's total disrespect, please. Yes, so I'm just cautioning you with respect to the words. Sherlock? Sherlock?
Mr.
Please.
Speaker,
Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, I will proceed to ask the question in the current construct.
Thank
right?
you. You may proceed.
But, Mr. Speaker, I will not fight with you with regards to the comments you made earlier, right? I will not fight with you. The nation and the people of Guyana knows better, and that is my opinion, that the Parliament meets.
You're actually imputing that I'm fighting with you. So please, choose those words very carefully.
Good, Mr. Speaker, but you got to remember to
Please
we're
withdraw
adults
that.
in this house, Mr.
Please
Speaker.
withdraw that.
We're adults.
Please withdraw that.
Can the Honorable
Please
Senior
withdraw
Minister
the issue of
withdraw-
fighting. I cut you off. Please withdraw the issue of fighting with you.
Guided, sir.
Yep. You all see story there, folks? You all see story there? Yeah. He vexed because a member of Parliament says that Parliament don't reach on a regular basis. You know, parliaments in the region know every sitting, which might be once per week in some places. Little tiny legislatures in the region, meeting in the Caribbean region, meeting once per week, once per month. But in the oil-producing republic, guys, in the oil-producing republic, Parliament meeting about once every 5 months. And then boys will say they care. But the closer for me was an exchange between Comrade Walter Lawrence and the Minister of Finance, Ashley Singh, Member of Parliament of Walter and Lawrence, former Minister of Health, and the Minister of Finance, because Comrade Lawrence contends that they're not following the Countering of Terrorism and Financing Act and other legislation. We're bringing some of these bills are concerned, right? They're not following some of these legislation. That's number one, right? And I want you to listen to her carefully, because the other point she makes, if you all know anything but budgeting, how come you all just come in February for a whole set of billions and billions and billions, and then you come again for more billions, right? And more billions. That is the point that was being raised by Comrade Walter Lawrence. How come if you are so good at all of these things, oh, you're looking so thin? How come, folks, they're looking really, really thin? Here the exchange between Comrade Walter Lawrence and the Finance Minister, Ashley Singh, well, the Minister with responsibility for finance in the office of the President, Ashley Singh. Take a listen, the closer.
Because, Mr. Chairman, through you, could the Honorable Minister of Finance tell this House why, within 3 weeks, having brought 3 financial papers here, we have not seen his adherence to the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act, Section 24(4), which reads, and I quote, "The minister, when introducing a supplementary appropriation bill, shall present to the National Assembly the reasons for the proposed variations and provide a supplementary document describing the impact of the variations, if approved, will have on the financial plan outlined in annual budget presented by him in this House." with your leave, I will ask the finance minister to respond.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, sir. The honourable member, Ms. Lawrence, who posed the question, is, of course, a senior member of the APNU AFC parliamentary team. And I have had the privilege myself, sir, of serving in this National Assembly for at least 1 or 2 previous terms in which alongside her. And I know that she's a parliamentarian of vast experience, including by virtue of the fact that she chaired the Public Accounts Committee, I believe, for at least a full term. This matter has been abundantly and thoroughly ventilated. And the Fiscal Management and Accountability Act has been in place since 2003. To be precise, December 2003. It has been implemented by successive People's Progressive Party civic governments. It has been implemented by an APNU AFC government. And the format for submission of financial papers has been abundantly ventilated and long settled. And the format that is being used today is exactly the same as was used by the APNU AFC. The fullness, sir, let me be clear. The fullness of the documentation submitted in relation to supplementary appropriations being sought, the fullness of that documentation has been settled a long time ago. And that documentation, the conventions in relation to the documentation to be submitted when supplementary appropriations being sought have been established, have been debated in this House, have been established, have been followed by a previous People's Progressive Party civic government and by the APNU AFC during 2015-2020. So there's no innovation in the format of the submission to this House seeking a supplementary appropriation. And our predecessors in office used exactly the same format and set of documentation when supplementary appropriations are being sought. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member, Ms. Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I am very disappointed. And I must say, Mr. Chair, that, you know, the courts have consistently ruled that this House have the power to regulate its own business. But I want to say here today that this House doesn't have the power to violate the laws of Guyana. I want to put that on record. I will turn my attention to my first question posed yes, you put like, sir, you didn't put 02023? Okay.
I did, and I...
May I, sir, before you put the question, with your permission, sir, respond and say that...
Yes, Minister, go ahead.
This House did enact the Fiscal Management, FMAA Act, Fiscal Management and Accountability Act, stipulate the requirements in relation to procedures to be followed in connection to supplementary appropriations. We, during our previous term of office, implemented those provisions. Our successors and now predecessors in office implemented those provisions. We have resumed implementing those provisions following the identical formatting of and compilation of documentation in relation to the submissions to this House when seeking supplementary appropriations. And there is, just as there is no violation of the law now, just as there was no violation of the law in relation to this particular matter while our predecessors were in office. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Member Ms. Lawrence, I actually, and I'll propose once again, Agency Code 02-023, Office of the Prime Minister, Power Generation, Chart of Account 6321, Subsidies and Contributions to Local Organization. and I propose the question that the sum stated herein stands part of the estimates. Honorable Member, Ms. Lawrence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the requested amount is for $927,741,000, of which $663 million is for the Linden Electricity Company, and $264,741,000 is for Letem Power Company. The questions are, these are very large supplemental funding relative to what was budgeted. So could the minister kindly explain these wide deviations? Could I go on to ask the second question? I don't know who's answering.
Honorable Minister of Finance, let him answer
I'll be answering, sir.
Yes.
And since financial paper 3 is for the period ending the 31st of December 2023, can we expect that there will be no further supplemental funding for these two entities?
Honorable Senior Minister in the Office of the President with responsibility for finance.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The amounts provided, as the honorable member indicated, are for the Linden Electricity Company and the Letem Power Company. And it's well known, sir, that the government of Ghana provides financial support through these two companies, Linden and Letem, and indeed in other communities, including and in particular hinterland communities, for the support of electricity. The cost that is incurred is a function of both consumption, the number of kilowatt hours consumed by the community.
Nonsense. A pack of nonsense, folks. Nonsense. That's going to do it for us at this end, good folks, this evening. You know, the budgeting. A couple of months ago, they came for billions of dollars in the National Assembly, and now they're back at it again. But are we getting value for money? That's a big question that we can ask. Are we getting value for money? Good to have you here, Michelle Lowe and Glenford Gordon. Good to have you here, Yolanda and Wernella Garnett. Faith Gulbari, nonsense. Nonsense. Candy Naleen Inderjeet. Not going to subject you guys to any more of it. See more Jaws and Chisel Chipper. Horace Calder and all the other folks joining us. Great to have you this evening. Good to see you, Vanessa Brewster, Aviola Clark, and Wayne Brown. Good to see you, Lyndon Gill, Vanessa Paulette Hawk, Ronaldo Cassius. Good to have you here as well. Good to have you, Karen Allen and Alson Cortez. Have a fantastic evening, guys. That's going to do it for us at this end until our next broadcast. Until our next broadcast, guys. Take care. Take care. See you, folks. Have a great evening. Take care. Share the live before you go. Smash that emoji button. Just the honest, folks. And partner with us as well. It's going to do us a world of good. Yolanda and Mabel Shorts and Kit Evans, Yolanda Thomas, Out Front Part, Sheila Boyd Child, and all the other folks joining us. That's going to do it for us at this end. Stay safe, guys. We're going to be back soon. See you in the next broadcast.